Good morning. I am 4 minutes earlier today, so if you're watching this in recording, you can fast forward. Good morning, Gina. I know you can't comment, so don't worry about it. Good morning, Mariella. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Alice. All right, it is time for us to start. Before we start though, I just want to make a little disclaimer. There is no internet connection at the studio today, as well as at my house. But anyway, I'm doing this on the 3G of my cellular data, and having my fingers crossed that it's not gonna break, get interrupted. So if it does, please accept my apologies and know that I will do this meditation later in the day when I'm done with all the classes. But let's hope that it won't be necessary. So today we will continue exploring AHIMSA, or non-violence, one of the ethical practices of yoga. So often violence, whether it's in thought, word, or deed, stems from this deep-rooted fear that the world is an unsafe place, that danger of all sorts is waiting round every corner, every step of the way. Deborah Adele, the author of the book Yamas Niyamas, Exploring Yoga's Ethical Practice, which, by the way, I highly recommend, I'll put it in the comments. She writes, "We only have to look around to see that fear abounds. It abounds in cowardly faces that turn away, in violent attacks, in walls of protection, in bins of possessions, in numerous unkind words and gestures." And if we are to begin to address these fears, we need to know the difference between fears that keep us alive and fears that keep us from living. The first kind of fear is instinctual. It's built in us for survival. And the second kind is fear of the unfamiliar. And it's this fear of unfamiliar that can become an abundant place for our exploration once we realize that this fear lives only in our imagination. To create a life and a world free of violence means to find our own courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, but rather our ability to be afraid without being paralyzed. To live the fullness that our own life is inviting us into, we often have to let ourselves be afraid and do it anyway. But of course, first, we need to recognize our own fears. The small ones, the fat ones, the embarrassing ones, and the really big, scary ones. So let's explore this together today. We're going to do a guided reflection that Tara Brach offers in her book, Radical Acceptance. It's called Meeting Fear with an Open and Engaged Presence. She prefaces it by saying, though, that if your fear is related to trauma or feels really overwhelming, this practice of being with fear may actually lead to emotional flooding and be inappropriate. So maybe for this practice, don't pick something super scary, but rather focus on the things that you think you can handle. As always, take a comfortable position. Take a few moments to acknowledge all the circumstances of your practice, internal and external. Inhabit this pause that you are taking with all your senses. Do a quick scan through your body, releasing any tension, especially in your shoulders, hands, and belly. And now, with a receptive awareness, begin noticing the arising and disappearing of sounds in the space around you. Simply listen. Be aware of nearby sounds, noticing their beginnings and endings. Notice the spaces between sounds. Gradually become aware of more far-off sounds. Open to the most distant sounds you can detect. Sense how everything you perceive arises and passes away within your boundless awareness. Let your attention rest softly on your exhale, letting go into space with each out-breath. Sense that as you breathe out, your awareness is mingling with endless space, absolutely open, boundless. And as the breath comes in, simply rest in openness, listening, awake, doing nothing in particular. And now, resting in this natural openness, bring to mind a situation that evokes fear. Ask yourself, what's the worst part of this situation? What am I really afraid of? While your inquiry may arouse a story, if you stay alert to the sensations that arise in your body, the story can become a gateway and let you access your feelings more fully. Paying special attention to your throat, chest, and stomach area, discover how fear expresses itself in you. You might even kindly say to your fear, be as much as you really are. And as you breathe in, let the breath directly touch the place of most pain and vulnerability. Bring your full attention to the sensations of fear in your body. And as you breathe out, sense the openness of space that holds your experience. And feel how your fear can just float and untwist itself in this vast openness. What does your fear actually feel like? Where in your body do you feel it most strongly? Do the sensations change or move somehow? How do you experience fear in your mind? With each inhale, feel your willingness to gently connect with the waves of life that are unpleasant, disturbing. And as you breathe out, feel how the waves of fear belong to a larger world, a vast ocean of openness. You can surrender your fear into the spaciousness, into the space of healing. As you breathe in, contact the immediate sensations with a kind and clear attention. And as you breathe out, remind yourself that you belong to the boundless awareness that has room for everything, including all of life's fears. If at some point you feel as if the fear is too much, then emphasize breathing out, letting go into the space of openness and safety. You might bring to mind a person, or spiritual figure, or a place in nature that conveys this sense of safety for you. And once you feel that you belong to a larger world, that you're connected to the universe, once again, attend to the way that fear expresses through your body and mind. And with time, you'll discover an artful balancing of touching fear and remembering openness at the same time. You can practice being with fear as it arises any time during the day. Using your breath, allow yourself to touch the sensations of fear, and as you exhale, let go into the vast openness. This way the energy does not get buried and begin to fester. And instead of reinforcing a fearful self who is running from life, you become increasingly confident and feel more fully alive. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Look around. Once again, inhabiting this moment. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.